favorite summertime snacks. Yes, we are using apples, and quite honestly, over the years, I've come to enjoy, I can't believe I'm saying this, I am from the Caribbean. I've come to enjoy apple chow more than any other chow that I've made. Whether it's mango, pineapple, cucumber, pomerac, it doesn't matter. Apple chow is my personal favorite. But, and there's a but, you must follow these steps if you want to get it right. Now, I am using gala apples. These are small apples I found at the Costco. And part of the secret is, yes, you can slice it up with the skin on, but this is the but, peel it and you will get much better results. Trust me on that one. To start with, what we're going to do is we're going to juice a lime and 2 lemons. Yes, you need both citrus in there. Both has their own sort of special part to play. So this is the bowl I'll be using to make the chow. So all the ingredients are going to go in here. I'm going to give it a good mix, and then we're going to stick it into smaller containers and into the fridge, let it marinate for an hour or 2, and then you can jump in and enjoy yourself. So in goes that lime juice, and the reason for putting the lime juice as well as the lemon juice now is, as you peel the apple and you chop it up, which we'll get to in a second, it will want to discolor. With the lime or the lemon juice in there, it will prevent that from happening. Get that last piece of lemon in there, and it may look like quite a bit of liquid because I will add water in there later on. And we've talked about this in previous chow recipes. The liquid, the elixir, that sort of gravy, that sort of sauce is what makes this thing so ideal. As a kid, when we took chow, whether it was mango, cucumber, or whatever, we always poured some of that liquid on our hand and we would suck it. Boy, I'm telling you, real nice things. Anyhow, so we've got that lemon and lime juice in there. I'm going to go in with garlic. And the full recipe, printable format, will be available at CaribbeanPod.com sooner or later, within the next 24. It's a holiday weekend in Canada, so they have to cool all this off. Habaneros from my garden, but I'll show you what's happening with my habaneros. Prime example here. There's a bit of discoloration here, so what I'm going to do is chop that part off. That's going to go into the rubbish, yeah? I ain't trying to waste these peppers. Now the inside is black as well too, so I'm only going to use the skin parts which are not affected by that. Waste not, want not. I'm on the suffer for proper peppers during the winter months, and what I usually do is, and again, wash your hands with soap and water after we've talked about this. You ain't trying to touch a piggy and hey, problems. But anyhow, during the winter months when I plant them, I try to freeze them. You wash them and then you freeze them. So during the winter months, did I say winter? During the summer months, I do this. So in the winter months, I can just pop them out of the freezer, and then I might have my little habanero scotch bonnet or whatever. And you can go over and check out that video I shared recently. There, see that discoloration again at the bottom here. So choppity chop, the seeds are good. And there's a lot of debate about where, oh yeah, that gardening video, you can go and check it out. There's a lot of debate on where that heat is. And I know the experts, and I use air quotes there, say the seeds doesn't have any heat. It's the white membrane here surrounding the seeds that has the sort of capsaicin that causes that heat, that maintains that heat. But I'm telling you, you ever bite into a seed, you will get heat. So I know what they're talking about. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm using 2.5 of these peppers. I have a tiny piece left over from earlier there. That's going in there. You can use as much pepper as you can handle. Remember again, use as much as you can handle. I'm just going to shift everything aside, and I'm going to bring this over here. And it's just shadow benny leaves from my garden called culantro. Some of you call it culantro. If you cannot source this, you can use cilantro, which is also called coriander. But this shadow benny, 4 leaves, 2 big ones and 2 tiny ones. That's all I can harvest. And I have it in cool water because I picked it earlier and I didn't want it to go discolored on me. And what we're gonna do is give that a fine chop, like so. And if you need to put this on a chopping board and do it, you can do that as well, because over the years, my thumb here, where the knife meets my thumb, it's grown, well, I wouldn't say calluses, because I'm not trying to boast about having callus in my hand, but it's tough. So I can do that. And that pepper wants to choke me. But anyhow, spicy, herbally, garlicky, citrusy. So you notice all those things went in there. So now, as far as the apples go, what I like to do is peel them. And you can use a potato peeler if you wanted, or whatever means you like to peel your apples. You can certainly rock that. It's totally up to you. I'm an old school at peeling it, like how my granny and my great granny would peel oranges. This is how we peel oranges. It is funny how people around the world peel oranges, and what we call suck, some people say eat orange, differently. Yeah, country to country. And these were washed. And all I'm gonna do now is see them chop like so, and one to next to it, maybe about 3/4 centimeter apart, and I'm gonna snap it. So again, go in here and snap, here and snap. And what that does, it gives me a sort of a rough edge as well too. And you're cutting it into small pieces that people can just grab and go. Now when you're grabbing and go, you can use a fork, a toothpick, whatever, because if you touch this, again, you're playing with spicy peppers, whether you use Scotch bonnet or Trinidad Maruga Scorpion, or maybe you're Guyanese and you're using your famous wiri wiri, which we call coffee pepper in Trinidad and Tobago. And I'm just gonna hit that a little, get all those pieces out here now, like so. And that is how we're gonna do it. And as I do that, I'm just gonna hit that, stir in that lemon and lime juice, just so the apples doesn't discolor. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna repeat that sort of peel and chop process with the remaining 6 apples. Then we're gonna hit that some salt, some black pepper, and we need some water to pull it all together. Down to my last apple now. Just get that there. Let's do a little cleanup here, so we'll put that there. All of the apple skin and core and all that, your mining fowl. I mean to say, you can feed your fowl that, your chicken, your duck, your turkey, whatever it is you're mining. Just gonna hit this a little clean. We'll put that in my composter. But here we are. So this is where we are now. Just gonna hit that one more quick stir, because we want to try and prevent the apples from going discolored. And you can see it's already starting to soak up all of that loveliness there, that garlic, the Scotch. I keep wanting to say Scotch bonnet pepper because that's the sort of brand or variety of pepper I like using. Unfortunately, the Scotch bonnet pepper is not ready in the garden yet. The last few things, we've got fresh ground black pepper. And you want to give it a good dose of that ground black pepper. If you can get fresh ground, even better, right? Because we all know when you grind that thing fresh, that it's opening up all those perfumes from that pepper grains. And as we've done before, I like putting the salt on top. I'm using sea salt. Don't want to go too heavy, because what I like doing now is pouring water directly on that. And ladies and gentlemen, we are almost complete. We hit that a stir. Yeah? Hit that a nice little stir. We want to make sure that salt melts. And this is why I left the salt on the top. So as our water went in, the probability of the water assisting in dissolving that salt is much greater. And that is essentially it. Put it into, now I will use plastic containers because I reuse my Chow containers. But if you're using plastic container, remember the pepper and the garlic, especially the garlic, will leave its flavor, its scent in here. So later on, if you are from the Caribbean, you know what I'm talking about. We reuse, and it don't have to be one of these. It could be a margarine container or something your mommy have laying around there. And we've learned that we reuse, we recycle, and all kind of thing like that. It will leave its sort of scent in onto the container. Sub soldiers, listen, if you enjoy this recipe, I'd really appreciate it if you hit subscribe and click that bell notification thing. If you've made the recipe, take a picture and send it to me. Email address down here. I mean, trying to tell people the email address, then bots will take the address and do all kind of thing with it. And tag me on Instagram at Caribbean Pod. I really appreciate you guys, and thanks for being in my kitchen with me today. Irie. And as we wrap things up, I want you to do something for me. You're gonna push that aside. Not the same spoon that we've been stirring with all along, a different spoon. And you're gonna hit that a taste. And you want it to have the garlic and the pepper and everything pronounced in there. And you want it to be a tiny bit salty. And the reason for it being a tiny bit salty is because I want that apple to soak up all that salty, briny flavor. And with the sweetness of the apple, and this is why I like this type of chow best. The sweetness complements the other flavors in here. Give it about an hour in the fridge before you go in there and start to add gravy. Now remember, pace yourself, there is very spicy pepper in here. And you know, if you're making this for the kids, you don't have to put the habanero pepper that I put in there. I've seen some garlic on the side here. Anyhow, Chris here, CaribbeanPod.com, my favorite type of chow, period. Whether it's mango, cucumber, tomato. I mean tomato chow too, you know, because desperate times, yo man, pomsite. Anyhow, I hope you guys get an opportunity to give this one a try and enjoy all this summer. Irie? Irie.